John, how are you today?
I'm good.
So how has your week been?
It's been good.
Good, okay. So last week when we met, we spoke about time management, right? So we're going to go over that. But before we go over that, I wanted to review with you limits of confidentiality. Do you remember what that is? Okay, so what is it?
It is, if I'm harming myself, you have to tell somebody. If I'm harming somebody else, you have to tell somebody. And the other one was, I forgot the other one. I don't remember.
So you're right. The only time I can break limits of confidentiality is danger to yourself, right? Danger to others. And the last one is if anybody in the past has harmed you, right? Okay. Okay. So let's just go over a little bit what we discussed last week and regarding why you came to see me. Your baseball coach informed you about your progress report, correct?
Yes.
And what did he say about it?
He recommended me to you to speak about my grades and how I can improve them.
Okay. And do you remember what we agreed upon that we would do in order to bring up your grades?
Time management.
Yes, exactly. So the homework that was given, right, was for you to write down things. I think we chose Monday, I think is the day that you chose? Tuesday. Okay. So I'm going to write, just to let you know what you're telling me, I'm going to write because that'll help me kind of figure things out. Is that okay?
Yes.
So why don't you list, give me your list, not give me, but read me your list.
First, begin my project for history. And then after that,
I'm sorry, to what?
Begin project for history.
So you began your history, is it your history project?
Yes. And then after that was math homework.
Okay.
Baseball practice.
Okay.
And then babysitting.
Okay, babysit who?
My brother.
Oh, how old is your brother?
8 years old.
Okay. So I have you began your history project, math homework, baseball practice, and babysitting. Okay. So these were your tasks that you needed to do or that you did on Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Is this all that you had to do?
Well,
Can you think of anything else that you?
Before all this, go to school.
Excuse me?
Before beginning history project, going to school.
Okay, so going to school. Anything else you can list?
Being at school. And
So your day at school?
yes. But
What about eating?
yeah, eating.
Okay. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, or which ones did you eat?
All three.
But lunch is, we're going to put that day at school, and we're going to put plus lunch, okay?
Okay.
Because you had lunch at school, correct? Okay. What about, what about drive to school?
Yes.
We want to be very, very specific with everything that you do, because then it'll help us figure out what things you could limit and what things you need to pay more attention to, right? Okay. What about on your phone? This is a huge one because I think sometimes we don't pay attention, but what about on your phone? Whether that's talking, texting, or social media, or surfing the web?
YouTube.
Your YouTube? Can we think of anything else that you possibly did on Tuesday?
That's about it.
About it? Okay. along the way, if we think about anything else, we can definitely add it in. Okay, so let's add this up. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be even a little bit more specific. I want you to go over the times. Basically, how many minutes, okay? So let's start with how the day begins. So, you wake up and get ready for school. How long does that normally take you?
20 minutes.
Oh, and breakfast too, right?
Yeah.
So, is that everything? Wake up, ready for school, breakfast?
Yes.
20 minutes? Okay. Then from there, drive to school. How long does that normally take?
15 minutes.
Okay. Let's see. Going to school. Day, so now your day at school. And this is not including baseball practice, okay? How long is your day at school? What time do you get there?
7:40.
And what time does the bell ring to leave?
2:47.
Okay. So let's round it off. Let's just say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 7 hours and 10 minutes, okay? Then, let's see, after that, you, baseball practice. How long does that normally last?
From 3 to 6 latest.
So that's about 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And that's typically between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Okay. Then when you come home, what do you normally do?
Shower.
Okay. And how long does that normally take?
15 minutes.
Okay. By that time, it's about 6:15, 6:20. After that, what did you do? Let's see, did you, you have, things that you have is begin your history project, you have math homework, babysitting your brother, dinner, and YouTube.
I eat right after I finish showering.
Okay, so dinner. How long does that normally?
20, 30 minutes.
Okay. And then, did you babysit your brother? Did you begin your project, math homework? What did you do next?
I did my math homework and my history project.
How long did that take you?
Around an hour.
So let's figure out the time. 6 o'clock is baseball practice was over. You're probably done and everything with your shower at about 6:30. So I'm counting the drive back home. About 6:30. Then you had dinner 7. So you probably started at about 7:30 your math and your project. So that was 8. That brings you up to 8 o'clock. When did you babysit your brother?
Right after that.
So that was 6. What time did I say? 6.
8.
8. So from 8 to what time did you
8
babysit?
to 9.
Okay, what about, the last thing we have listed is YouTube. So do you YouTube throughout the day or did you YouTube at like a certain time?
Right after that, till I fell asleep.
Okay, so from 9 to bed?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I listed. So it's, you really have a really full day, don't you?
Yes.
And it seems like you pretty much get a lot done, right, during that time. And I know before we spoke about trying to find a way to focus on your homework and your test right? And studying because your grades were going down versus last year, correct? I mean, yeah, last year you were doing better. What do you think about your day?
It looks fine. Nothing's too long or too short.
Do you see in anywhere in there that you could possibly do different?
The YouTube,
What about the YouTube?
mix it in throughout the day, so I'm not watching it before I go to sleep, which might lead me to stay up longer.
That's an excellent point. That's great insight. Do you find yourself trying to keep yourself up to watch it?
No.
No? So you watch until you fall asleep? Okay. But if it's something interesting, do you typically find yourself trying to watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a really good point for you to point out. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. So when you say watch it maybe throughout the day, you mean like, what do you exactly mean? Tell me, what do you mean? What does it mean when you say I can watch it throughout the day? What would that look like?
Like after practice, if until eat dinner, throw it in from there.
Okay. You can also possibly, what would you say, like drive to school, drive back from school, waiting for your ride, right?
Yes.
Baseball? Okay. Is that something you're willing to try?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So why don't you, homework then, what we can do is, it might be easier to try maybe tomorrow to see how that goes?
Yes.
Okay. So if you do that, that kind of like gives you a little bit of extra time, right? So what on this list would you could extend or do more of?
The homework and project.
Okay. So you can add more time to that. Okay. Okay. So so you can add more time. Where is it at? Right here, right?
Yes.
So we can add more time. Okay. I noticed you said you began your history project. When is your history project due?
Next Friday.
Next Friday. Okay, so you started it early. Wow, okay. Do you tend to, is it common for you to start projects early? No? So what made you decide to start your project early?
Wanting to get my grade back up.
Okay. So it sounds like you're really concerned about your grades.
Yes.
Okay. Have you noticed any differences this past week while you've been in class and your homework and your assignments and that? Any difference that you've been doing since we last spoke, or since your coach gave you the information regarding your progress report?
I've been doing better, turning in my homework, completing it, and that's improving my grades on the test.
Okay, so you've noticed the test that you've taken since then, you've noticed a difference?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So what have you been doing differently? I know you mentioned completing your homework, but is there anything else you've been doing differently that has helped you do better?
Just focusing more on school and cutting down on things like YouTube and all that, things like that.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so John, it sounds like you're pretty well aware of the importance of your grades, correct? And also your baseball, right?
Yes.
So I think it's great that you're able to observe this and kind of see areas where you can kind of change it, right? Do you think it's beneficial that, I know your list, you kind of wrote, I think, the big things, right, that needed to be done?
Yes.
Do you think it's beneficial when you kind of write your list of things that you need to do on a daily basis from the moment you get up to the moment you go to sleep? Why do you think that is?
Because you get to see everything that happened, and you know, and it's a lot easier to see where you can improve on what's taking up most time and what should be taking up least and what should be taking up most time throughout the day.
Exactly. So a lot of times that's why, you know, people walk around with their agenda, right? Their planner, or even now we even have it on our phones, right? Okay, so do you think that's something that would benefit you on a regular basis?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So why don't we do this? Since this has seemed to really help you, why don't you, as I stated earlier, why don't you change it up a little bit and see how that works? Change it up meaning cut back on the time on YouTube at nighttime, kind of mix it in throughout the day. And then any other changes that you find yourself doing, definitely taking note of that. And then we can bring it back and we can discuss it further. And by then, we'll be 2 weeks into meeting. I'm sure we'll see how your progress has been in your classes. Okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about outside of this? Okay. Again, open door policy. You can come and visit me whenever you like. You don't have to wait until next week. But if I don't see you, have a good week. Okay?
You too.
Thank you. Bye.